Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Dragonheir video. I'd like to thank Dragonheir for sponsoring this video. And if you want to get involved and download the game, you can do so using the link down below in the pinned comment or using the QR code. And yeah, I would say like Dragonheir, I'm now in season 2. It's been a blast so far. Today we're going to talk about the best rares in the game per elemental affinity. And honestly, in this game, like rares are really impactful. You can get some rares which are really going to drive your account forward, and having elemental teams really makes a difference. So picking up one rare per elemental affinity to just kind of like cement into a team can be the difference between you clearing some real high level content or not. This video, we're going to talk about the six top ones in my opinion, and we're going to showcase some of the kind of like high level teams that they can run in at the same time. It's also worth calling out, I'll link down below Never's channel, who's also a Dragonheir nut. Really end game, really understands the game super well. He's got some content on rares in the Chaos Shadows, which is going to be kind of more like end game content using these rares. So definitely could kind of like check out those. And he's got some separate videos on the rares that I'm calling out here as well. So let's start off with Sigrid. Sigrid's probably the most well-known crazy rare in the game. So why not start there? This is a poison support hero. Now, Sigrid kind of labeled up as a poisoner, yes, you can build Sigrid with a bunch of accuracy, make her a debuffer, and that works, right? So that's going to work, that's going to help you out. But basically, she's also a crazy damage dealer. You need a bit of setup to make that work. So you need someone who's going to do debuffs across the rest of the board, right? So you want a reliable, ideally, ultimate casting debuffer. Someone like a Varesh is a really good kind of setup for this, because you get debuffs everywhere. Then Sigrid is absolutely nuts in a damage build. So yeah, there are 3 ways you could build her, I guess. You could go full accuracy, put her in something like a stun set, really good for areas like Meander. You could go hybrid, damage dealer, and debuffer, so you get your accuracy up to the level that you need to get your debuffs away, but then go full damage after that. Or the more fun way is just like straight up 100% crit, build a lot of attack, a lot of crit damage, and just absolutely nuke. This is particularly good in areas like Goblin, again, if you've got the right setup, because she will go through and just nuke wave after wave of enemies. And yeah, just one of the most fun rares in the game. But yeah, I mean, you've seen examples there. She's farming Chaos Shadows. She's farming the highest level of Goblin at highest star rating. And she is farming the highest level of the Grave of Venom, putting out a ton of damage. So next one we're going to talk about then is going to be Vanny. So Vanny's going to be our lightning-based rare. Huge damage dealer again. So she's a Dauntless rare. She's going to be, again, used in Chaos Shadow teams. Really, if you think about the kind of like main boss in the Chaos Shadow area, is Tula. He's really unkind to melee heroes. Yeah, he's going to absolutely wipe them out. So the fact that Vanny is a ranged damage dealer, she's also going to buff your other damage dealer as well. So it gives you a real kind of like decent combo of damage for that boss. But she's also someone who can bring decent attack speed boost to your team. In terms of build, pretty easy really. Just want to make sure you bring in good attack speed, crit rate, crit damage. The more you can get uptime on her ult, the better. And she's going to be really solid in kind of like your Dauntless team. Outside of that kind of like Chaos Shadows, you can also put her into your Vortex team, potentially, if you're short of some options, and bring a Dauntless team into Vortex. But yeah, really solid for a Lightning rare. So our third one up is going to be Welby. Welby is our Radiance rare, probably the best rare in the game. Certainly one of the most fun ones. He's up there with Sigrid in terms of funness. So he is a rally enabler. So he's going to be basically giving you a good uptime on rally. It's going to mean that the ultimate skill is basically just like spamming. Yeah, he almost gets like, 50% of his ult meter back, and that's going to be huge damage spam in AoE content. Things like Goblin, he's going to be insane in. And in endgame, if you've got someone like Filto, he's going to just enable him to obliterate endgame bosses, which is super fun as well. In terms of builds, you want to go for damage again, so attack, crit rate, crit damage, and just see the numbers fly in. So again, you could be running him in Goblin, like the end stage of Goblin in a Radiance team. You could be running him in Heretical Ruins, the highest stage. You could run him in Grave of Venom, the highest stage, and he will perform really well in those teams. So let's talk about a Necrosis rare. Then it's going to be Adri, probably just like a turn meter manipulator. So single target turn meter control, she's really strong for. She also brings a decent amount of damage as well, but not crazy damage. Because she's single target, she's really good for the artifacts which bring the drop defense, like the Witch's Remain or the Crown. But yeah, basically, she's just going to be solid in a Necrosis team. The trouble is, there's not really many areas in Dragonheir right now where Necrosis teams are like top tier. But you never know. As new content comes through, she's probably going to be the kind of like no-brainer that comes into that squad when you need it. So in terms of builds here, you just want to make sure you've got enough accuracy to do the job. If you don't have the accuracy to drop the turn meter, then there's literally no point in her being in your team. Once you've got that kind of like solidified, then you bring your crit rate, crit damage, and attack, and she could be like a secondary damage dealer. In terms of areas of the game, so Chaos Shadows, you can be bringing her in a Necrosis team and getting some top rewards. But as I say, at the moment, there's not many areas of the game where the Necrosis teams really shine. Let's get on to our Frost rare then, and that's going to be Usha. I actually used Usha a ton in Season 1. She's not getting as much playtime in Season 2 because Ice Blast has come in, and honestly, it's overshadowing a lot of the Frost teams. But her damage is super high level. If you pick her up early, she can do a ton of work. In fact, I got Dritz, and I had Usha already in Season 1. Dritz is a legendary hero. And, you know, like 1 for 1 in terms of damage, it was pretty similar in same gear in terms of like single target nukes. So yeah, Usha should not be ignored. Obviously, rares are easy to level up. So yeah, basically her ultimate does 800% attack, 1600% when attacking enemies under Frost. So it's not just single target, it's a small kind of like little area for her ult, and she can nuke multiple units at the same time. For instance, if you're doing a Goblin raid and you've got those debuffs down, you can actually slam in and do a ton of damage. You really want like the Goblins to like swarm her, and then she just absolutely pulverizes them down. She's also got a decent amount of like self-preservation in her kit with some shielding and stuff as well. So, and the shields actually scale from her attack, which makes her pretty damn useful. So for Usha, you don't really need accuracy. You just want to go into full damage and yeah, get your crit cap done, then go full attack, full crit damage. She's a bit out of favor right now, but she can be used in the Chaos Shadows in a Frost team. She can also be used in like the highest level of Goblin 3/3 in a Frost team as well, and in high levels of areas like Graver Venom's level 9. So the last one we're going to talk about then is the Burn champion, the Fire champion, and that's going to be Neda. Neda basically risen to the spotlight in the later stages of the season where basically you need to be more creative with your teams. So Neda being a wild hero as well. Wild's really strong to use into Azilla. Melee heroes just taking absolute beatings. Having that ranged attack is really good in Chaos Shadows. There's a lot of ranged wild options as well. So taking 0 damage during the fight is potential. You can go literally full blast cannon dealing damage here. In terms of build, again, attack, crit damage, and crit rate. Make sure you crit cap and then just build those attack stats. And yeah, she can be used in high levels of Vortex, in a Burn team. She can be used in the Chaos Shadows, as I've just said. And yeah, that's going to be it to kind of like cement the 6th best rare in the game. Let me know of rares that you're using down below in the comments. I just want to thank Dragonheir again for sponsoring this video. Don't forget you can download using the link down below, or you can download using the QR code. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you soon.